a big difference between being a business owner and an entrepreneur or self-employed. Everybody that's a business owner is an entrepreneur, but not everybody that's an entrepreneur is a business owner. Let me say that again. Everybody that's a business owner is an entrepreneur, but not every entrepreneur is a business owner. As y'all know, I say all the time that a business is merely an organization with a set of systems that allows it to run on its own without you. As a business, you have other people in place to actually run the business. When you think of an entrepreneur or self-employed, pretty much all you've done is bought yourself a job until you've put those processes and systems in place to actually remove yourself. So think about McDonald's. We're going to use McDonald's as an example. When was the last time you walked into McDonald's and you saw the CEO or the owner of that McDonald's? Because they all independently own. So when was the last time that you did that? Probably never. And if you did see them, they were just coming through to do a walkthrough, make sure everything was running. So that means they have people in place to do every single operation within that business so that every day it continues to run. Now, what they doing is they're on the back end. And what they looking at, they making sure the sales are there. That's what they're doing on the back end. So they're not so much as worried about the day-to-day, because they've put those systems into place. So that's all that delegation is. It's a transfer of responsibilities. And as a business owner, you have to be confident enough to transfer those responsibilities. But it's a lot of things you got to do before you get ready to relinquish that stuff over to somebody else. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So when you think about transferring responsibilities, it's going to require you to plan, and it's going to require you to have effective communication. Those are the only two ways that delegating your task within your organization is going to work. Is if you plan it out thoroughly and you communicate every step of the way. So why do you think, like at McDonald's, the managers, they might have a weekly managers meeting or daily meeting, but they're meeting to make sure that everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, when they're supposed to do it, and how they're supposed to do it. So that's the same way that you got to think about your business. And when you think about delegation, ask yourself, why is it required? Why do I need to delegate? Let me tell you, you only one person and you can only do so much. So even if you are right now self-employed and you are a solo cleaner, guess what? There are only so many hours in the day that you can do the cleaning, because you still have to manage your business. So as a solopreneur, you're limited, right? Because it's only you. You're only one body. But as you begin the process to add people to your organization, now you can continue to grow. You get wider and you get bigger. Why? Because you're adding people to help you to do those tasks. Think about right now, you might can handle 10 or 12 clients a week on your own, depending on the size. But if you were to have 20 clients, that's something that you wouldn't be able to do. If you had the staff, but you didn't have a training in place for your staff, then guess what? The service or the consistency is not going to be there, and now you're going to be losing clients. If you are in need of new hires, or you need to hire contractors and you don't have a process in place on how you onboard either your contractors or your new hires, guess what? The same way you start them is how they gonna finish. So if you're not organized, if you don't have systems and processes in place for your human resources, guess what? Everybody gonna be doing whatever they want to do. Ain't gonna be no order. It's not gonna be no structure within your business. And when you begin to delegate, what that does is that allows you as the business owner to focus on the growth of your business. That's it. As the business owner, your only job after you've created all of the systems and processes and put them in place and put the people to run the systems is to focus on the growth of the business. That's your job. That is your job, not to be consumed with the day-to-day operations of your organization. Because again, a business is only an organization with a set of systems that's going to allow it to run without you. But if you don't take the time to plan and be able to communicate effectively, then guess what? That transition is not going to be smooth. What you thought was going to be easy is actually going to be harder because you did not plan. So when we think about delegation, you can say, what is it that I can delegate in my business? Everything. And I mean everything, from the sales to the marketing to supply management to quality control to contractor compliance to your administrative tasks to even your customer inquiries to data entry, right? Every single thing that you have to do in your business can be delegated, but not before you have put the plan in place. And today I'm going to walk you through how to create that plan so that you can start to delegate those tasks, because you might be looking like, man, I need to delegate everything. Wait, hold up. You do need to delegate everything, but is it the right time for you to delegate? So when we think about delegation, I want you to think about, when should I start to delegate the task? And the first thing I need you to think about is, how big is my business? Is it really time for me to start delegating? Have I maximized my time every day? Have I created a consistent schedule? Have I put those things in place that need to be in place before I start to delegate these tasks? If your business ain't big enough, it ain't the time to delegate. It's time for you to get more organized. And that's the problem, is that a lot of us, we want to remove ourselves too soon. And when you remove yourself too soon, guess what happens? That thing starts to crumble. Because you the foundation. You the strength of the organization, right? You built it. So when you remove yourself from it, there's nothing to withstand it. There's nothing to hold it up. So making sure your business is big enough, making sure that you have a budget. And let me explain why this is important, because let's say you hire somebody to do your social media management, right? And they charging you $300 a month, and you like, I can afford that right now. But you don't have a sustainable business. Like, your business is not bringing in at least this minimal amount for you to be able to pay this social media manager. If you're not there and you hire this person, 1, 2, 3 months down the line, you're going to be looking at financial strain, because it really was not in your budget, because your business is not sustaining yet. Meaning that you don't have enough consistent dollars that are coming in recurring. Every month is, we did this last month, maybe we can do this month. If you don't have a consistent flow of monies coming in that you say, I know that guaranteed we're going to make this, because we have 17 recurring clients. On average, we have 4 move out cleans, and you can base your income off of that. So you know that, hey, as long as I continue to market my business and I have constant leads coming in, right now, this is what we are grossing every month. It's only going to continue to grow. So this is a great time for me to be able to add this one person to my organization where I can delegate this task. So making sure that the money is there before you start delegating, because you don't want to think you got something off your plate, and then in 3 months you realize, hey, I got to take that task back on. So what I want you to do is, I want you to make sure that you've budgeted for whatever role it is that you plan to transition these responsibilities to somebody else. Now, the complexity of it, right? Is it time for me to delegate? Listen, if it's something you know you're not good at. So if you got a Canva account and you like, oh, I need to make some flyers, I need to make some promotional material, I need to make some content on social media, but you're not good at designing, it take you 3 hours to design one flyer, and it still is not the way you want it. Why are we wasting our time doing something that we're not proficient in when there's somebody that's proficient in it that we can outsource this work to? That's what I mean when I say the complexity. That's just like you wasting 10 days to build out a website and then the website is not even functional. That's something that you need to say, this is a priority. I need to budget for this, and this is something that I need to have done right now. So maybe something else that I'm budgeting for, I got to put to the back burner because I know that I got to get my website done. But if I try to do it myself, child, I don't know what's going to turn out. Right? So if it's complex and you don't know how to do it, you're not knowledgeable in, that's a great time for you to delegate that task, that responsibility to somebody, because if I got to sit and learn it, then I got to do it, then I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong, that's taking too much time. And time is of the essence when you're building out an organization. We don't have time to waste on things that somebody else that's more proficient can do. So if you overwhelmed and stressed, if you ready to grow, right? If you say, hey, I have reached my maximum capacity, it is time for me to put people in place so that I can continue to grow my business. This is where we need to be at. We need to be at, where do we start this process? How do I go about doing this? How do I make this delegation happen for my organization? The first thing we got to do, y'all, is identify the task. So remember, when you delegating, it's only a transfer of responsibilities. But within your organization, it's a million different things that you're responsible for, right? So you need to figure out what are the tasks that you need delegated. That's first and foremost, is identifying the task. We need to know, what do I need done? What is it that's taking me too much time? What is it that I'm stressed over? What is it that I don't like to do? What is it that I'm not proficient in that I can get somebody else to do that will help me to grow my business? So that's the first thing, is identifying the task and then creating the objectives. So what is your reason for hiring this person? What is expected of this person? What needs to be accomplished? Is there a time frame? So if you're hiring let's say a social media manager, and you say, hey, every month I need to get out 2 posts a day. I need 2 sales posts every week. I need 10 engagement posts a week. I need 3 before and after posts a week. Like literally giving them clear instructions and then making sure that they understand what's your preferred method. Now, they might have a way of doing it, but if you say, hey, this is what I envision these posts being spread across Instagram, Facebook, and my professional business post on LinkedIn. Clear instructions and identifying where you want this information to go. So first, guys, we got to identify the task. Because if you don't know what to do, if you don't know what you need done, how you going to hire somebody to help you? I'm just saying, because if I can't tell you what I need done, how you gonna do it? You can't. Nobody can read your mind, and nobody knows. You can tell a person your vision, but they're not in your head to actually see it, to have a clear picture of what I'm envisioning. So you gotta make sure that you're the person to do that. So a lot of times we go out here and we get people to do work for us, and they say, what are your expectations? What is it that you're requiring? What's most important to you? We can't even answer those questions. Hey, I hired you the expert. You tell me. How can they tell you when you're the only person that is responsible for this organization? Now, they might be cold at social media, but they don't know what message you're trying to relay to your customers, to your audience, to your ideal client, to your prospects. They don't know that. So you got to make sure that you're clearly identifying it, giving them the objectives, making sure that they have clear instructions, and then where you want this at, how you want it done. Like, I want it on these platforms. You got to be clear. Then you got to choose the right person. Like, seriously. You need to do your research on, just like you research in your business. We're not hiring nobody just because they got a nice image on social media. No, I need to know who you've done business with. Give me a list of clients that you've serviced that's reputable. Let me call them up. And when you call them up, hey, how was your partnership with whatever entity that you're delegating these tasks to? How efficient were they in completing the task? How did they communicate? Was the project completed to your level of satisfaction? And if it wasn't, did they do what needed to be done to correct it? Because we're not just hiring nobody because they got cute pictures on their Instagram page. We're not doing that. That's how you get got. And like my grandmama always said, don't be out here accepting no wooden nickels. And the wooden nickel is, oh, it looked nice. It looked cute. No, I need to see the evidence. I need to see the work, because the monies that people are charging for these services now, we don't have none of it to waste. That's what we don't have. We don't have any of the funds to be wasting. When you're looking for a person to delegate these tasks to, just like you research your ideal client, you need to be researching to make sure that this is the right person to do exactly what it is that you have listed in the task, in the objectives. If they communicate well, if they understand the expectations, if they clearly understand your instructions. So this needs to be definitely somebody that you have sought out. We're not just going after the first person. So even if you're using Fiverr, even if you're using Upwork for some of the people to take care of the task, you need to be reading them reviews. And I don't mean the first 3 or 4. Go down that list. Go down that list. And before you hire them, ask those questions. Make sure that they're able to complete the task to your level of expectation, to your level of satisfaction. That's all I want y'all to do. Because again, it's just like I know, the prices, everybody charging premium prices, but everybody does not produce premium work. That's the one thing I want you to take. You don't take nothing else from this. Delegating your responsibilities, transitioning your responsibilities to somebody else should take a burden off your shoulders. It should lift the weight off your shoulders. It should not cause you headache, hardship, stress. It should not. That's not the goal of the delegation. You want to make sure that you're setting milestones. So if this is somebody that you plan to work with over a period of time, let's say a year. By the first quarter, this is where we should be. By the second quarter, this is what we should have completed. By the third quarter, this is where we should be. By the fourth quarter, this is where we should be. And what you should be doing is checking in to make sure that they're on track to meet those milestones that you've set. You want to make sure that you got somebody that knows how to ask questions, and that when they do ask the questions, you answer the questions to ensure that they're comfortable. You know how somebody, you will ask somebody a question and the way they respond, you'll be like that. When you're delegating tasks to somebody and they have a question, it's for clarity, right? Because you got objectives, you got things that you need to be accomplished within a certain time frame. So if they're coming to you for questions, for clarity, make them feel comfortable when you answering the questions. Yeah, you the boss, and you might think that, duh, that's a stupid question. There's no such thing, because if I want to make sure that I'm doing it right before I complete it, and then you come back and be like, this ain't what I wanted, now we're going to have a problem. So make sure that whoever you're hiring, you let them know that, hey, any questions that you have, anything that you need clarity on, anything that you don't understand, please do not hesitate to ask. And the reason this is important is because, again, just because they're a, let's say, social media manager or a salesperson, it does not mean that they have the knowledge and the understanding about the cleaning industry. So again, every industry is different. They might be great at lead generating. You might hire somebody to do your lead generating. Maybe hire somebody to close your sales. But they might be a closer for 10 different industries. So you need to make sure that you convey this to them that, hey, if you got any questions, I'm the person to come to. Do not assume. And then remember, you answering those questions where they always gonna feel comfortable coming back to you to ask another question. Next, you're going to provide them the required resources that they need to complete the task. If you're hiring somebody, if you're delegating responsibilities, and you don't give that person all of the information that they need to be able to complete the task, how you expect it to get done? Just tell me. If you don't give them what they need to complete the task, how do you expect them to get it done? For example, if you have somebody creating, let's say, your sales packet for your commercial cleaning business, and it's specific to the medical industry, and there's a section where you have in there frequently asked questions, but you don't get them the questions or the answers to the frequently asked questions that the medical facilities have when they're looking to hire you to clean their medical facilities, how you expect them to complete the sales packet? How do you expect them to complete the content if you have not given them the information that they need to put into your actual sales packet? If they're designing it and you haven't given them the actual content, the wording that you want in your packet, how they gonna do it? Like, seriously, how they gonna do it? They're not going to be able to do it because you have not given them the resources that they need. That's just like saying, hey, create me a training manual. And you like, I could do that. And they like, well, she want a training manual on how to clean the bathrooms, training manual on how to make the beds, training manual on how they clean the kitchen, but I don't know how they do it. You haven't wrote out the steps. You haven't told them how you all clean the kitchen. So you want them to make the training manual based off the way that they clean the kitchen? Or you want them to just go to Google and be like, how do you clean the kitchen? Tell me the steps to clean the kitchen. Child, you ain't gonna have no type of level of consistency around here if that's what you're doing. You should be creating your own content for your training, because every single company cleans differently. Every single company walks in the door and the first thing they do is different. Some people start downstairs. Some people start upstairs. Some people take all of their material upstairs. Some people leave the vacuum downstairs. Some people start in the bathroom. Some people start in the bedroom. If you don't tell this person or give them the resources that they need, how they gonna complete the task? How am I gonna create you a training manual? You ain't told me the steps that you take to clean. I'm just saying. That's like giving a person directions and just telling them, just go out to the street and just make a left and you'll find it. And they like, I'll be doggone. It just ain't gonna happen, y'all. It's not gonna happen. So a lot of times we're delegating tasks, but we're not giving the person that we've delegated these tasks to all of the resources that they need to be able to complete the task. So again, we go all the way back to the beginning. It's going to take planning before you can delegate these tasks. That's just like hiring somebody to answer your phones. And you ain't wrote out no scripts. You ain't wrote out a script for if a person tell you they want to move in clean. You ain't wrote the script out for if a person tell you that they already had service before and they just want to get another service. You ain't wrote out the script for somebody that, maybe called and didn't secure the service for your cold callers. Like, you ain't did none of that work. So how you expect them to do the work? I can't do the work unless you do your part. All right? I can't do my part unless you do your part. And if you don't do your part, then ain't nothing gonna get done. Absolutely nothing. If you don't do your part as the business owner, nothing in the business is going to get done. And what I want you to do is I want you to get out of the mind frame of being self-employed. I want you to get out of the mind frame of just being an entrepreneur. I want you to get in the mind frame of being an organization. I want you to think about that CEO of that organization, that you don't see that person often, but that business is running every single day without that owner walking through those doors. You don't think that McDonald's that open up at 6 o'clock not going to open at 6 o'clock whether that owner there or not? That McDonald's going to open at 6 o'clock because they've set roles and responsibilities within their business so everybody knows where they supposed to be. That's it. That's all. So your organization, again, is a set of systems. And I know you get so sick of hearing that word, but it's only a process for every single operation within your organization. To how you mix your supplies, to how you fold your microfiber towels, to how many towels a team get a week, to when the supplies are refilled or when the team leader come back and get new supplies, to your email list. Everything is just creating the processes for how you want it to operate. That's what a business owner thinks like. They don't think about, oh, I got to get this done, 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 got to get this done. No, they thinking about what needs to be done, how do I do it, create the system to get it done, and then they hand it off to somebody else to do that. But until you get into that mindset, you're going to always be looking at, what do I need to do next in my business? I got to get this done. Got to call this client. Got to put this client information into the CRM. I got to follow up with this lead I got today. I got to send an email out. I got to go over here and make sure the quality was good from the contractors that I sent over there. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff that can be handed down, but not before you do the planning. So it's first identifying the task, identifying what it is that needs to be done. What's the objectives to getting it done? And they know what needs to be accomplished. The expectations of this role, giving them clear instructions and what's your preferred method. Make sure that you hire the right person and that it's within your budget. Make sure that they are understanding that they can ask you questions and that you prefer for them to ask you questions, even if it's at every step. Make for clarification, because I hate for us to get all the way to the end of this assignment and it ain't what I wanted. And then make sure the most important thing is that you are providing them with the necessary resources, every single thing that's required for them to complete the task. That's just like you hiring a web designer and you don't give them the information that you want on your site. You want yours to look like everybody else's that they created that had a cleaning business, or do you want yours to be unique and designed for your vision and your goals for your business? Make sure, y'all, that you understand that delegation is going to be required for you to turn this job that you got yourself. All you've done when you became self-employed was you bought yourself a job. You created yourself a job. That's it. Somebody prove me wrong. There's not one person on here that can tell me I'm lying. The moment you decided that I'm no longer working for anybody else and I'm going to start my own business, what did you do? You created yourself a job. It's not until you create the systems and the processes within that job to delegate those tasks to other people to run those processes that you've built a business. A business, I'm going to say it again, is an organization with a set of systems that allows it to run on its own without you. So until you've done that, you are a self-employed entrepreneur. And remember, every business owner is an entrepreneur, but not every entrepreneur is a business owner. Does that make sense? Are y'all with me here? Because we're all entrepreneurs. But until you can walk away from that thing and know that it's gonna flow without you, you ain't got no worries. You could take a vacation for a whole month. You got people in place. If you want to sleep in till 12 o'clock, you know everybody where they need to be. Until you've done that, you are a self-employed entrepreneur. But the moment that you do that, you a business owner. So remember, we're going from self-employed entrepreneur to business CEO.